Just kind of have to awkwardly cut that music to get us going. Look, we are finally back for some high school Rocket League. My name is FormalCasting. Joining me to the side is Mendrix, a dynamic duo that we haven't seen in Rocket League in a good long while. Not since like the Rocket League Oceania doing their stuff. It's been a while since we've got together on the Rocket League pitch.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a while in general, Max. I think I've been busy. You've been busy. There's been a lot of things happening, but I'm glad we're back. I've been graced with your voice, and I've been privileged enough to check out some excellent Rocket League action today.
Yeah, I have to ask, how deep into the Rocket League scene have you been? Have you been watching RLCS? Do you know about Ground Zero?
I do know about Ground Zero.
That's
I do
good.
know. Well, haven't had a chance actually to be up to date with all the player swaps, because I know it is something that does swap quite a fair bit in terms of the players, in terms of their moving, everything like that. But I know the Australian Rocket League scene does have some phenomenal players, and we are jumping around to that international area, just ripping it up.
True, that we are. And all I wanted to say is, yeah, Ground Zero, they're pretty good, our number one seed right now. Well, they're nothing on these high schoolers. That's what I was getting at, because we've got so many schools about to be throwing it down right now. In fact, here's a good look at all of them. As you can see, some familiar names out there. Ripley coming back once again to kind of see what they can do. Trinity has always been a fun one, but I'm just doing the quick look right there. 16 different schools right now competing, Mendrix, and I mean, it's always fun to kind of see who's going to step up.
Absolutely. It's one of those things when it comes to the grassroots leagues as well. You get a real mixed bag, but not just in the players of the competition, but in the teams themselves. You get some players that are gunning to make themselves to be a part of that next Ground Zero team, right? That's what they want to do. Then you got the teams that the players are pretty good, but they've got that competitive streak, so they want to just jump in there and start really revving around into the pitch. And then you got the players who are just there to have a little bit of fun, and when it all mixes together, it is just an absolute blast to watch, because of course you get to see some really funny things, some really amazing plays as well. So of course I'm expecting a mixed bag.
Yes, so am I, and especially with the sort of revamped format that we have for us this time around. As you can see right here, we're opening up with sort of a seeding stage to begin, and that's kind of the games that we're going to be seeing right now, and that, of course, leads to the round robin. Actually, sorry, the seeding happened last week. Kind of happened off stream. Now we're into the round robin, which is, going to be this and happening next week, and all that is to build to our playoff finals in week 4. So the teams have been seeded. There's 2 divisions that have been made, each kind of reflective of the groups, the skill level, so everyone will be playing, kind of amongst their peers, which is always a good sign, and I think it should lead to better competition overall.
Absolutely. It's always rough when you do jump into a competition, and then next thing you know, the caliber of players that you're up against is just that much better that you feel like, oh, there's just no chance for me to ever reach it. But to be honest, when it comes to any sort of sport, esport competition you put out there, if there is relative steps for players and of course, just sporting competitors in general to climb, that gives them sort of a path to get up there rather than just being completely slammed by someone who's already at the top of the steps.
Yeah, I absolutely does agree. And of course, in order to put on an event like this, we have, a collection of wonderful sponsors I think we would like to thank for this one. So let me take our first look at the pitch right now. Yeah.
Acer Australia, the presenting partner of High School Summer Series, who provide PC technology solutions for all schooling needs in the classroom and at home. Predator Gaming, the gaming PC partner who provides high-end gaming-focused PC solutions in both laptop and desktop formats powered by Intel. AOC Monitors, the gaming monitor partner who provides the best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And of course, Game on Cancer, the charity of choice for AEL, who funded the much needed cancer research projects, with AEL donating a portion of all student participation fees to this life-saving cause. If you'd like to donate as well, please head to the AEL's Tiltify campaign page.
Yeah, a big thank you. And of course, you can see that QR code on screen right now as well. So if you're, leave it up for a little bit so you can get that scan in. Check out more on that Game on Cancer front. 3, 2, 1. We'll bring it back later, but we're going to come back to us right now because you saw the 2 teams that were up on screen before. They're going to be our first 2 teams battling out right now. MGS taking on QASMT. When it comes to these schools, you always have these fun abbreviations. First game, though, in a round of robin. They're going to be jumping any moment right now, Mendrix. What are we expecting to see, especially considering it's a best of 3?
Oh, look, the big thing here is that I'm hoping these teams jump into it. I know it's going to be Mentone Grammar versus Queensland Academy as well. So we do have a little bit of, I believe, Melbourne up against Queensland in terms of just the states at this moment in time. But I'm expecting them to start off strong. I just get a feel of each opponent, see where their skill levels is at. Once they realize, are we the underdogs or are we looking at to be an advantage? Then you'll get to see how those play styles evolve. So who's going to be parking the bus behind those goals? Who's going to be looking to be a bit more aggressive throughout the rest of the match?
Yeah, I mean, we could do a quick run through the lineups as well as the game has kicked off. On that Melbourne Grammar side, you have Fergo, Critic, as well as Brilliance, who's just watching Fergo get that first point in. On the other side, it will be Former Ball, Winter Jade, and, of course, Nightwatch, who was unfortunately in the position to watch the ball go right in front of them and into the net.
Yeah, it was pretty rough there. The extra velocity just came off the ball from the back end. Winter Jade thought was going to go for the clear, but just added a little bit more oomph behind the ball and just made it so easy for Fergo to come in directly afterwards from the assist. So as you can see, just going for it again. But I can see there are some pretty good movements from both these teams in terms of just protecting the ball, maintaining some form of control as well. So I think that first goal going through isn't just an indication of the way this match is going to end up.
Also, apologies if you're just seeing settings right now. I was wondering why the game sound wasn't working. I had the game muted for personal reasons. But now we should have the game sound. Everything should be running smoothly right there, just in time to see Critic top crossbar and in.
A nice little, you see Brilliance there, just jumps in from the side. Fumble is trying to get a flick back, but unfortunately doesn't hit the mark. That does end up doing a little bit of a pitch straight into Critic's waiting arms and just guides the ball straight into the back of the net.
Also couldn't help but notice Critic, we were talking about Ground Zero before, had that power tag next to their name. Not sure that's the team you want to be emulating at the moment, but hey, scoring goals like that, still a pretty good sign as it stands 1 minute in, 2 goals already in favor of Melbourne Grammar. This is the exact start that this side was hoping to see, especially the best of 3. When you don't really get that warm-up game, you got to be efficient from the word go.
Exactly. Fergo there. Nice little movement. Does knock a number of people out of the way. Brilliance is trying to get in there, but of course the clear does happen, but there's some control back into a bit of danger, but nice clear away from Former. And as you can see, he pushes it into the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, they're going to see a bit more as well. Swing and a miss, though, from Brilliance. All to set up Critic, who is going to try and follow through in that corner. No one there to follow up immediately. Oh, cross-up shot, not quite hitting its mark.
Well, they're still going to try to get it in there, but no control now at this moment in time there. Fergo's trying to get it back in. He's going to put it for slightly. Critic finds the demo. Former Ball will knock it clean out of the danger zone, but it's still petering its way closer towards the center.
Yeah, that it is. And again, apologies for the lack of game sound. We're working on that right now. We should be able to get it to you very, very, very shortly. Actually, as Fergo with the dribble, going to make it 3-0.
Yeah, I just love it. As you can see, just up through the side that has all the boost in the world and just slowly guides it in. Former tried to actually just tip it on the side and get it out of the control of Fergo, but of course, with that little bit of extra nip on the side there from Fergo, was able just to put it and guide it right into the net.
Oh boy, OBS struggling a little bit with me. There we go. We have ourselves our game audio.
Operating, we're running.
We are running. Well, there we go. So it should be good from now on. Again, apologies for all that, but now we get to hear the car sounds, because what is Rocket League without blaring engine noises as Brilliance tries to show just that. Aerial dribble denied by Former Ball right on the line.
I mean, if these cars were all electric, though, there wouldn't be any noises, right?
Yeah, Well, I still like what I use, which is the screaming cats. I don't know what's going on in there, if it actually is a bunch of feral cats that we kind of caught and threw underneath the hood. But Fergo going for a reset. Doesn't quite have it this time around. You can see, though, Melbourne, like, they're feeling so confident with the space that's being given to them.
Yeah.
They can explore their mech. They can go for these trick shots. I want to see more aggressiveness coming from the orange side on defense.
Yeah, Queensland do need to step it up a little bit here, but at least they're now sort of found a little bit of their stride. They are actually getting much better clears away. You can see that the Melbourne team can't really zone in on those opportunities to get those goals there. First bit of danger now that we had probably for the first 3 minutes. Fergo is ready to get in there. Will not allow Former get the clear out. It's in the center. Brilliance is in position. It's just going to tap the top of the net there, but Critic is ready and waiting and finishes off the play.
All right, I think now we got the audio, so I thought we had game audio. It was just me echoing. Critic, though, is the one who puts it through. Look, we're trying, all right? We're trying our best, but I think I got it now. I'm worried you might be echoing,
I'm hoping
though.
you've got it now.
Oh, yeah, now you're echoing. Great.
But
Yeah.
my echo's fine. It's not the end of the world, right?
Well, we
You
want it
know?
to sound good. I think now we're good. I think now is about as good as it can get. You give me a little audio check.
Audio checking, 3-2. Brilliance, though, is guiding the ball in. It's just going to hit the post side and will make its way out. But they're still going to be relentless on the side here of Melbourne, continuing to push that ball into the center. Nightwatch trying to actually stop Fergo from bringing it in as well. It's back in the center. Critics there doesn't find the initial tap in, and it goes towards the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, it does for this moment. Now Critic is again trying to set up off the backboard. Will let it drop. Ball falls harmlessly outside the box. Brilliance going for the double down, and Fergo follows it up. Look, that was going to be our first double of the event. Fergo says, no, I'm the star of the team.
As you can see, though, Brilliance is trying to jump it in. Like you said, Fergo is actually playing the star of the team at this moment. It's like, can you imagine being the lead singer and then the guitarist at this particular point? I feel like it really is between Fergo and Critic at this moment in time. Nice big hit there. Fergo will be there to defend. It does mean that score will remain 5-0 for the time being. I feel like now we do get to see these guys continuing to warm up still just a little bit more as well. I believe that the aggression is starting to come in a little bit. Perhaps I could say them saying, you know what, we've probably lost this particular match or this particular round. Let's bring it back in the next one.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to, and I'm going to be that voice of uh-oh right here for QASMT. I mean, haven't really seen a lot from them to fill me with confidence that they're going to be able to sort of turn this series around yet. Obviously, a touch from Former right there, still looking to move forward, but immediately demos, middle of the pitch, just not letting this orange side get anything set up for themselves. 5 seconds remaining, game number 2 on the horizon, and in a best of 3, it's already match point.
Yeah, you can see it's been pulled up on the side then. When I look at it as well, just sort of breaking down the general part of that play, I can see that Mento and Grandma is really looking to just have a nice, strong aerial game. Don't really see that ball hitting the ground too often, and they're just really just playing around their opponents at this moment in time. I'm not sure how you're feeling about that one or that particular analysis.
I mean, it's hard to call aerial play a strategy. In my mind, that's always kind of a mechanic. And for me, yeah, it was obvious that QASMT just don't feel as confident going for those types of plays by how far back they're playing. I mean, you saw that defensively, they were always coming off their own backboard. They were always giving all this space over to Melbourne Grammar because they didn't have the confidence to go up and challenge. And the end result is Melbourne Grammar just able to find shot after shot after shot right outside the box. So as unfortunate as it sounds for QASMT, they're going to need to push their comfort zone. They're going to have to try to go for challenges that they don't feel 100% confident on just to give themselves the chance. Otherwise, we're going to watch Melbourne Grammar dominate the ball in the offensive half for the second game in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see how this does play out. Of course, it is going to be a best of 3, so that means if we do get a repeat performance coming through here from the Melbourne Grammar School and the Queensland team cannot really keep up with their play, it means that we will be moving off over to the next round.
Yeah, that we will. A very quick series it could be, but all you need is a couple big breakout moments. Anything can happen, and it starts with those types of defensive challenges. And I know we didn't see the defenders hit the initial ball, or at least not the first defender, but the fact that they were going for it tells me already they are looking to adjust. So we'll see if that pays out for them in the long run. A chance for Winter Jade. Couldn't go too far with it before Fergo takes it right back the other side, past the Brilliance. They can't connect.
That was a fantastic pass. Doesn't go anywhere, but you can really see that they are looking to play as a team, understanding who needs to be in which spot, where, and when. Fergo now in control. Bit of danger here, finally. Well, Melbourne team there, but of course it will be knocked out away. And of course, everyone's scrambling back. Critic has an open goal. Fergo misses. Brilliant says, I'll clean up directly afterwards. It may be 2 misses, but third time is the charm.
I mean, I have so many problems with that play. Like, if I were to put on my coach analyst spray, like, why are we triple committing? Why are we missing open nets? That should not have scored, but the problem was, I feel like this. Well, it did, because this Queensland side is so eager to get any sort of offensive pressure. They overcommit about 5-10 seconds before that happened, so Melbourne was allowed to recover and get third time lucky on that shot. Still, though, if you want to go far in this tournament, you can't miss open nets like that, and you cannot double commit to miss an open net like that.
I completely agree with that one. Sounds completely logical. You put it in. We are going to have a bit of a hit there off the deflection. Just pushes it into the center of the pitch. But now Critics in control. Gets the demo on Nightwatch as well. So we do have them look to reform. Brilliance now trying to get some control back in as well. Brilliance will also get a demo of Formal Ball, but still they haven't managed to get the ball into position yet, and nothing's really come out of this play.
But yeah, I mean, you can tell, though, look at where the Queensland side is playing defense compared to game number 1. They are a lot further forward up. They're not giving that same space that they gave over in the first game. And the end result is it's been a lot harder for Melbourne to set themselves up. They've been able to show that adjustment. And it's a bit of a shame that we're only getting best of 3s instead of best of 5s, because in a best of 5, you can recover a lot easier after that sort of feeler game that we saw in game number 1. Now already a goal down, ball in front of their net. The pressure is all on Queensland to use this better defense to their advantage, and they have to do it from the back foot.
But the thing is, well, especially because this is so early into the competition as well, this does mean that we can see that perhaps there might be an evolution as well coming from this Queensland team. And yeah, maybe now they might not be able to take on Melbourne Grammar at this point, but who knows what will happen a few more rounds in. And that the fact that they already have this level of adjustment and already giving them these sort of results, we could have a really good competition on our hands.
I mean, I think we're definitely going to get that competition because of the seeding event that we had last week. Super good to see, but as time continues to whittle away, it feels like Melbourne, they're about to get their next goal. Double commits again outside the box, but the faster recovery, what got them the first goal gets them the second as well.
Yeah, you can see Fogo pushes it in. Brilliance is ready and waiting. Yeah, like you said, double commit, actually even crisscross at that moment in time, but quick recovery from Critic allows them just to push it in. We get the Phoenix. Now it's going to be 2-0, and things not looking the best now for our Queensland side.
You know, a double commit isn't that bad when the defense triple commits. That's the one
when
time
you put it like that.
Yeah, that's when you can get away with it. Brilliance over the top, making it 3-0.
Yeah, and I feel like now that they sort of put that pressure on, it's starting to hit there. It's at that point where now the buckling is beginning to put in place. You know, you've been playing so well. You got 2 minutes left now. We've just let that second goal in. We just need to hold a little bit more, and you can see the cracks starting to show through. That was a very quick third goal coming through for Melbourne Grammar.
Yeah, it was speedy, it was lethal, and a 3-goal deficit, 2 minutes remaining against a team that is yet to score 1 goal in this series. I mean, it would take a Herculean effort. Seen crazier things happen, but at that same token, nothing that I've seen from the Melbourne side tells me that they're going to give up this game.
Absolutely. Unless I can see like a 3-way demo just popping out of the blue, I don't think too much is going to really help at this point. Still, like you said, minute and 30 seconds, I feel like we can probably really put it down and say, yep, the nail's in the coffin at 45 seconds. Because like you said, some crazy, I mean, you remember like Australia, Japan. I thought Japan had beaten Australia at that point. I turned off. In 5 minutes, they scored 3 goals. It was ridiculous.
Oh, there's been some crazy things. I mean, 4 goals, this is the scoreline that's worth noting. I believe it was Surani versus Hustle G during the last regional event. 4-goal comeback in regulation. Didn't even go to overtime. First time ever it happened in RLCS for Oceania. But 5 goals, well, that's one too many. And that's where we're seeing Melbourne sitting right now. So I don't think we're getting the comeback this time.
Well, at this point, though, we can see what can actually be played by the Queensland side. Perhaps maybe they can sort of recover some form of defense here. At the end of the day, it is still a really early competition. These guys have plenty of opportunity to get themselves back into it. And, I mean, once I say that, I feel like I cast a curse them. That was, everyone just went the wrong way at that point.
Yeah, no, it was 2 defenders going for the back corner boost, and a challenge lost in the middle of the pitch, kickoff goal. I had to double check to make sure, someone didn't accidentally disconnect or something there. Oof, awkward setup from Queensland. But, yeah, as I said, still early days. It does feel like, though, you called it, the dam broke with that second goal. And after that, the confidence that Queensland was showing defensively started to fizzle. They started to play further back again. They were giving up that space. And as we've learned, if you give Melbourne space to work with, they're going to connect on some infield passes and make you pay.
Yeah, as you can see as well now, I feel like it was a bit more of a grounded game as well. I sort of said, hey, the aerial just seems to be too much for them. And now, like you said, that space has been given back. Now they can pass. The ball's starting to go a little bit higher as well. Things have definitely just completely changed in this match. For the first the first 3 minutes was something different. Now to be honest, it feels longer than the first 3 minutes because now we're getting so many goals coming through and we're watching the replays.
Yeah, it's gotten worse before it's gotten better in the final 30 seconds on this one. And with the 7-0 scoreline, I don't want to make the meme, but I do want to see Queensland get 1 goal. So I'm torn right now Maybe Brilliance will put another one in, looking for top bin, doesn't find it.
Are you talking about a South American country at this moment in time?
I am. I have a certain squad that had some unfortunate luck at the World Cup. 15 seconds to go. A chance, actually, for Queensland. So much so that they triple commit for the ball, but they can't keep it straight. 5 seconds remaining, and it is going to be Melbourne Grammar taking our first series on stream.
Yeah, pushing it down there. Of course, you can keep the ball in the air, but you can also just score, Critic says. Brings it up to an 8-0, well and truly crushing the meme at this moment in time. And it was a very, look, like I said, looking at everything across the board, definitely a lot of action there. I think there's a lot of potential for our Queensland team, but Melbourne looking very strong and setting the benchmark at this moment in time.
Yeah, that they are, and with that start as well, Melbourne, well, they're going to continue to advance at that 0-1 line. Brisbane, they'll have time to bounce back, hopefully get their first goal of the day as it progresses, and maybe even a win as well. So good job to them sorry, it's not Melbourne Grammar, it should be worth noting. It's Mentone Grammar.
Well, it's Mentone Grammar, but they're from Melbourne, so...
Oh, they're from Melbourne. Yeah, I think Melbourne Grammar might be a different school.
To be honest, I was like, Mentone, is it Mentone? Melbourne.
Well, you know, Mentone Grammar gets the win, so apologies on that front. We got there eventually, I'm sure. We're going to be going to a break right now, though. When we do come back, we will have more matches for you. So do stay with us. 3 more best of 3s when we return. When the music dies, that means we are on our way back. Hello, I am Formal, still joined by Mendrix, and we got things sorted eventually, okay? I need to do a quick public announcement and a quick apology to the players for somehow failing to type the name and password correctly. They're very similar, Mendrix, and I somehow messed it up.
Look, sometimes people get the easiest parts wrong, but the hardest parts correct, right? And it's because you think, oh, it's so easy, I don't need to think about it that much. And it happens to everyone, believe me.
I mean, it happens. The problem is I get everything wrong. I get the easy parts wrong. I get the hard parts wrong. It's just a big old mess. But, hey, speaking of teams who got something wrong and are looking for redemption, we're going to see QASMT return to the pitch, this time against TCB, and a chance to maybe, turn some of that momentum around after that last game.
Yeah, Tinley Tactics. I wonder what that one stands for. Must be a story behind that. Maybe I'll have a bit of a chat with the players a bit afterwards to figure out where that name came from. But yeah, looking at it here as well, you said that seeded competition part did happen before in the past. And just to bring it up, I mean, the Queensland side were up against the #1 seeds when we look at Melbourne, right? That's something we need to take into account here. And when I look at that scoreline, yeah, it seemed a lot, but I reckon considering, what we are looking at for the seeds here, that's pretty good in my eyes. I reckon these guys can probably do a lot more with the rest of the competition as it goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say they did really well. They did fail to score a goal, so I have to hold that against them. I have to be a little bit critical.
I am trying to be the nice. You know what? You're like, I'm the good cop. You're the bad cop.
I'll be the bad cop.
That's what it is.
I'll be that bad cop. But it's also because, I expect better because I saw the adaptation. I saw the potential, and maybe it will start to come together right now. Granted, it should be worth noted, Queensland is opting for a sub. You can see them right there. CQ Sits has come in for Winter, who we saw in that last game. Meanwhile, on the TCB side, we have Snow Cone, we have Ocean, and we have Lemon Goo working it together. So we'll see how this squad goes. The #5 seed, they went up against the #4 seed, came up short as well, not too surprising. And TCB, Tyndale, they still should be the favorites in this match.
Yeah, at this moment in time, just from the seeding point of view as well. But as you can see, no goals at this moment in time. Ocean does get a bit of deflection there. The shot was on goal there, of course. Probably wasn't expecting anything too much, but a bit of a setup. CQDIS has now managed to get the ball a little bit clear away as well, trying to get the ball out at this point. But Ocean now putting into dangerous territory.
Yeah, as you can see, they are trying to get there. Also, it was TCS, not TCB. Okay. We're learning things as Snowcone puts the ball in.
Yeah, it's not sure that as you can see, Snowcone comes around there. There was a bit of a reflect on the ball that I think at that moment in time, Queensland thought they had a little bit of breathing room off that deflection there, but just didn't take into account Snowcone coming in very hot, really showing that his name is actually not to be trusted.
Yeah, as they see that right now, as we do watch Snowcone trying to backboard in, pass across. Ocean's there, crossing up the defense. Whoa. The angle on that shot. Ocean looking strong.
Look at that turnaround. Just said, yep, nice little backflip as well. Ocean's ready to click up as well. Yeah, you can see that this is a team that definitely has themselves put together at this moment in time as well. 2-0 the score, 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go. Let's see if Queensland can bring it back.
I think they've got a struggle cut out for them. Look, I've been informed, one of the players actually on the TCS side, Lemon, someone to look out for. I know Ocean got the really sick goal, and Lemon actually, for the most part, just kind of whiffed it right there, right as we highlight them. I think that's good right now because a player of multi-talents actually competes in F1 league racing as well, and it should be worth
wow.
Yeah, it should be worth noting that that's another esport that they dabble in, compete in, and actually are quite strong. Was in a much higher division than I was when I did it, so curious to see if those skills carry over to the Rocket League pitch.
We're casters, mate. We don't do the esports. We don't be the competitive. We watch it, and we enjoy it, we love it, but these are the guys on the pitch. We let them do the running, and Lemons will be looking out there. Does do a very nice demo as well, right in the middle of the goal, and that helps Ocean come in for a score. You can see that was a nice setup there from Lemon.
Yeah, it was a nice setup from Lemon, but I think here's the thing that Lemon, as well as, the TCS side should learn, if you want to bring up the recognition and bring up the fact that, hey, I've recognized you from other esports competitions in the past, that means I'm going to judge you a lot harsher, Lemon. So the spotlight's on you now, buddy. Let's see what you can do.
Every mistake will be combed through.
Hey, did the right thing right there. did the exact right thing right there. Let Ocean, who has proven to be the more on fire, the more mechanical player, let Ocean be the one to take it instead. I like that. Smart player Lemon is.
We can see here, CQ sits though, is trying to get the ball clear. They do manage to get it into the middle of the pitch there. Ocean puts it back into the trajectory that he wants his team to have at night. Watches there to pick it up there, but doesn't get the best bit of the hit there. And now things looking a little bit dangerous. Snowcone also wants to pop it back in. A nice little center push is going to be a push in, but perhaps not the flick that he wants. Nightwatch will clear it for the time being.
Yeah, that was always going to be a tough play through the corner. Would have liked to see them go a little bit higher with it because similar to that last game, we just don't see the elevation coming from the Queensland defense. Shot from Snowcone, saved on the line once more, but double committing for boost. No one playing around the ball. Awkward situations as you catch it again right there. Let's Ocean set up.
Defense.
Lemon who posts the open net. Oh, buddy.
Clip it, clip it. You need to go through it with Coach Max Ball after this one.
Open net's more difficult than Monaco qualifying, all right? That's the truth. Ocean, backboard down, no one there to collect.
Well, Lemon does manage to get back in. Lemon really is playing that third man role at this moment with the team. They're happy to sit back in most cases and comes in for that last minute commit when it really needs to. Of course, it wasn't, as mentioned, open net there, but just looking at the way he's actually playing this one through, Lemon will get it clear as well now. Looking to see Ocean and Snowcone pushing back towards that front play. So we can kind of see where Lemon's going to be sitting throughout this competition, or probably just for this round.
Lemon, like, look, I'm going to say this respectfully as I can. Lemon is probably, like, playstyle-wise, yeah, I agree with you. He's been playing third man. Really not the player to be watching on this blue side. Ocean has been the stand-up player, as there's another open net miss and whiff right there. But yeah, no, Ocean has been the player to watch because Ocean, as that front man, has been causing at least one, sometimes even two or three defenders to just swing and miss on that first challenge, and that has given so much more space for the other members of the TCS side to really be able to get those opportunities to miss open nets. So it is fantastic to see, but Ocean does seem to be the driving force, and Ocean is the player that, if you're on Queensland, keep your eyes on, try to find a way to shut him down because he's been making you look a little bit silly.
Yeah, you can see that now. We are getting now to the dying seconds of the game. Will they be able to keep it up? Go for another goal. Ocean just says, let me get one more shot in. Means we will have a very quick kickoff and probably end to this game. But 4-0 looks like it's going to be the final score.
Yeah, Ocean just right in front of the net, gets a cheeky little dunk, puts it through, 4-0 advantage. 3 games now. We've seen this Queensland squad play. Still looking to see them get their first goal. Maybe it'll come in the turnaround in this one. I mean, the sub from CQS, how are we supposed to pronounce that?
CQ sits, I feel.
CQ sits, that makes sense.
I feel it's CQ sits. I mean, I guess you could be like CQ sits.
CQ sits.
But I feel CQ sits is like what I'm going to be rolling with.
Yeah, I mean, did a good job coming in as a sub. The defense was working out for him. But, yeah, when you look at that other side, it really was the Ocean show. Got themselves the hat trick, applied a majority of that offensive pressure, and is going to be the thorn in the orange side of the field if we're going to see, the 2-0 sweep, which looks pretty likely for the second time.
Yeah, well, I mean, perhaps there might be that adjustment this time around. Maybe not in terms of as a strong opponent as they had before. If they do push themselves a little bit further into that pitch, give less space, and we might see a different outcome. And I think that's something that's really impressive about this Queensland side. They do have that ability to sort of look at that self-awareness and go, yep, let's make this specific change here going into the match. And if they just manage to hold it, they'll be in a much better position.
I didn't like that start. That was a little bit awkward. Couple swings, a couple misses, but you know what? No damage done yet. Lemon trying to find Snowcone on the centering touch, and now with the pass back over to Ocean, a bit too much oomph behind it. Ocean can't corral. Super far back, Lemon, but again, hesitation from the Queensland side. They were given space to try and clear it back in the other direction, and they don't immediately take it. So instead of pushing the ball to the blue side of the field, it winds up kind of jammed up in the middle. In this instance, it works out for Queensland, but I don't know. It's too passive for my liking.
Ooh, nice little hit back from FormalCasting there. Lemongrass was looking to actually get things a bit more dangerous for them before, but we'll push it back there. But you can see a nice clear away once again there. Ocean looking to actually compete against CQ Sits, who's having a bit of a flip around the ball at this moment in time. A number of players aren't going to be able to actually compete for an Ocean. Once again there, sees the opportunity and just nudges it straight into the goal.
I mean, Snowcone really was the one who set that up, and Ocean just has to go straight down the middle. Good to see the team finally just kind of take control of it. It was a bit chaotic, especially when we got to see Queensland on the attacking side. Ocean just pre-jumped himself way out of the play, and that, I don't think that's why CQ Sits kind of lost control of the ball, but Lemon wasn't expecting that either, to put it lightly. Still, the recovery was there, and with a 1-0 lead, a chance now for Queensland. They're on the attacking half.
Yeah, they're trying to push it out there. Snowcone will actually be able to beat the ball back there now. You can see Ocean taking it slow. Wants to get control. Nightwatch will actually miss out as well. Snowcone will actually speed this play up. Ocean now, once again, pushing their way through. Is going to be the one to actually nudge into the course, but Snowcone comes from the finish with the deflection on the defense.
Yeah, watch this one again. It's that second touch, but it causes the double commit, and that's what happens when you've been so dominant for so long in a series right now. Like, you kind of feel whenever Ocean has possession of the ball in front of the net, panic time. So I'm not surprised we saw the double commit, and it's the same thing in game one. He draws all the pressure, and then the rest of the team cleans it up, and it's touches like that, which is why Ocean is keeping you on your toes.
Snowcone now looks to be the one trying to put it into the center there as well. Nightwatch actually helps out. Ocean sees it and just jumps right on it, gets another goal. 3-0 the scoreline. I feel like once again the dam might be breaking.
Yeah, Nightwatch was in such a tough position right there, was trying to get it to the opposite corner, but just didn't have the power for it, and the end result was, well, a pass essentially over to the best player on the other team. Awkward play, but off the kickoff, former ball, showing that, hey, Queensland might still have some teeth until CQ Sits puts it backwards, and now it's a breakaway.
It definitely was a nice, good attempt at a bite there, but of course, we do see that the TCS team does manage to just snap their hand away before the claw, well, not the claws, the jaws, ended up coming down. And as you can see, Ocean now trying to push it back in, gets into the center. No Lemongrass Snowcone available to actually nudge it in from the setup there. Nightwatch means he's going to try for an opportunity. CQ Sits has open goal. He might be able to get it in, and there is the bite we've been looking for. CQ Sits is the first one to get that blood drawn.
I don't want to call that a bite. I don't know
what do you want to call it then?
An oversight.
The hand moved into the teeth, and
yeah,
the teeth just happened to be in position.
Yeah, that's a bit more apt right there. I don't. It's like those alligators.
Give them the goal, Formal.
Oh, they got the goal. They got the goal, but it's like, you know, the alligators that just lay there with their mouth open and just wait for whatever to walk in. Exactly. Like, it seems
to be a good spot to just rest my legs, my wings for a bit.
Snap, and well, hey, Queensland known for its saltwater crocs gets one through. Now, though, Snowcone looking for revenge, was the player who was caught in no man's land before, couldn't quite get that dribble to go straight.
Well, here we go. Perhaps with the extra energy from that bird that they managed to consume before, we're seeing a much more dangerous-looking Queensland side as well. Ocean, though, wants to turn that around. Nice little play in the side. That isn't actually going to be finished, and as we can see, we do get the clear away from CQ Sits.
Yeah, now CQ Sits has a chance. Yeah, it was two defenders each playing the post. It was also going to be a tough one to push through, but
commit again.
Chances were there. I'm a little bit worried, though, for Queensland, because Ocean, with possession, puts those through. 3-goal differential.
Does bring it back to that point there as well. But I'm really liking now what I can see from Queensland again. They seem to be a little bit more aggressive. That's what we want them coming into the pitch. You need to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right?
Yeah, that you do, but the problem is right now they just don't have the answer for one player, and that's been Ocean. I mean, even on that last goal, you can see the ceiling shot executed so well, and like Ocean to me is showing that they're a player. They've put the hour in this game, they've put the time in this game, and they're someone who's going to be dynamic throughout. One reset into the double. Doesn't get the double, just gets a normal reset goal. Doesn't count.
You're like, it's sorry. Look at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like,
but no, it's okay. But that's not what he wanted. That's not what he wanted. He was hoping that ball was going to hit the post and he'd get the double touch on top. After he failed the second reset, all right? So he was going for a highlight play. He missed option A, tried to recover with option B, missed that as well, and said it's just a reset goal. Sorry, buddy. Strike it from the record. Oh, no.
I'll just stick with that. Oh, that would have been a tough pill to swallow if it did go in, but thankfully it did not. Still, though, we can see that TCS is looking to continue to push this lead.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it also speaks volumes to the player. The fact that they are attempting double resets, the fact that they are going for reset double touches. It's why I was saying Ocean is that dynamic player. Ocean is him. And if we're going to be watching more of TCS, the Tyndale Tactics as they advance through this series, that's going to be the player to look out for. And yeah, I can see some matches against the upper echelon where Ocean can be that difference maker.
We can see there, Formable does manage to get that ball in as well. Nightwatch with a brilliant setup here, just pitches down, falls in. A bit of an overcommit there in terms of what was happening there. It does mean there's going to be a 5-2 scoreline, back to 3, but with 17 seconds left, still a very tall ask for our Queensland team to bring this one back.
Yeah, and again, too, this is a longer event, right, with this Swiss stage, so there will be more games to be played by this Queensland side, and the fact that they're finally getting some points on the board might help them out, going into those next couple games. But when you look at TCS, fall short in the first series, come back strong with the 2-0 one in the second. They're going to be looking to go back to their winning ways. Tyndale Tactics take this one with a 2-0 clean sweep.
You're pretty good on the back then. I just want to also just go back to that point you were saying, like, hey, plenty of time in this competition for the teams to bring it back as well. Everything as well is you just need to make sure that you don't lose to the teams that you're supposed to beat. That's the big thing as well. You really do have this idea, all right, we're expecting to lose to these teams this time. Next time, though, we'll be able to change that around as long as we maintain our composure against those teams that we should be on top of.
Yeah, exactly, and I do see them kind of put themselves in that situation where they will get that opportunity to bounce back. It's a long season, and one of the crazy things about AEL this year is, like, we've completely reformatted so many of these events, so even if you fall short in one event, there's many more ways to get yourself into those championships. We wanted to give more incentives, more reasons to play, and well, we're going to have more games to play. We're only halfway done through today, so we're going to be going to a break. But when we come back, our third series, stay with us. We got more of this high school Rocket League when we return. All righty, we are here and ready for the second half of today, and well, things are getting interesting as we gear up for our second match in this one. Emmanuel going to be taking on SPCC. These two teams have been kind of waiting a little bit to go, or at least Emmanuel has been. SPCC had a really long last series, so Mendrix, we're just going to go straight into the pitch.
Yeah, I'm ready to jump into it too, and I guess both of these teams are as well. I think it's interesting to see as well how the teams play. Well, one that's had a bit of a break, one that's literally still warmed up, but could have a little bit of fatigue off the back of it. So it's hard to say who's really at an advantage at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully SBCC is getting the message to jump in, and looks like we may have had a misfire. No, they did get in time. Ooh, last second getting through to see that SBCC's hurt in the chest
Down
moment.
to the wire.
Yeah, well, let's go over these players real quick. On that Emmanuel side, you have Lord Frederick II, Little Toe Joe. That's a fun name. That might be my favorite name, as well as It's Hazard. On the other side, you have Doubtful Boa, 9806, Shadow Rocket League, with some pretty sweet shades, might I add, and RZA Plays 2K. Shout out to the player RZA right there. We'll see if we see some RZA-esque skills running into your teammate, though, ain't it?
It's so good. I just love I love the whole nameplay as well, going through the names. The players just can be really creative in terms of what they put together, and Little Tojo.
I love it.
Such a good one. It's just simply, it simply rings off the tongue. That's the best part about it. That's some credit due. Credit due where credit's due.
What's rough about Lil Tojo, though, is it takes away from Lord Frederick II, which is also actually a pretty... That's also a pretty great name. So, I don't know. On the name front, Emmanuel, definitely impressed with what they put together. Also, stylistically, I mean, that Fennec from Lord Frederick looks clean. That shot, however, not quite as much. Follow-up off the backboard, not going to hit its point, and missed opportunity for the Emmanuel side.
Yeah, but you can see Little Tojo wants to bring it back in. Doubtful is going to make sure that it remains clear as well. And now it's in the dangerous side here for the Rocket League Emmanuel Gold team. Lord Frederick now in control. We'll dribble it through, but we'll have a bit of a collision there and put it right back in the center.
I mean, that could have been the attack for SBCC, but they were all on their own backboard. No one wanted to press forward, and I think it was RZA Plays 2K who was kind of driving donuts on the ceiling as opposed to looking for an attack. Now we are seeing SBCC a little bit tighter with their spacing, a little bit closer to the ball, but the damage might be done. Hazard going for the dribble, shut down by RZA. Second touch trying to throw back to the teammate, but with that bump, actually might open it up for Emmanuel instead. Hazard shot finds the gap, and it's a 1-0 lead.
Gets it in there, absolutely hazing at this moment in time as well. Little Tojo manages to claw up through RZA and, of course, Doubtful, and then just gets that pass off, and a nice little finish there. 2 minutes in as well, so it looks like we still have things relatively close at this moment in time. It's still anyone's game.
Yeah, still early days in this one, but it could be a 2-0 lead. Little Tojo parked on the goal line. Will be able to make that save, and Hazard brings it back up the opposite direction. Didn't slow it down. Actually had a chance to set up for a lead blocker right there, but sometimes when you sort of see that bang available, you feel compelled to take it. Shot from Shadow will cross up the defenders, and we got a tie game.
Yeah, this is looking like a very competitive series coming up here as well. As you can see, a little bit of a deflection on that back end as well. Very easy for V Shadow just to jump on in and knock into that center. And let's see how we do get a bit of a bounce back here from Emmanuel, if they do manage to hold on to their composure, or if it's them saying, you know what, we just lost our confidence. It's always interesting to see when the first team that scores, how they react to it, and then how it ends up being a little bit of a repeat performance from the other side as well. If they do sort of go, oh great, now we're behind, we need to come back, we need to, they start buckling under the pressure. But both teams seem to be looking pretty strong still. They're just saying, you know what, it's just one goal, still 2 minutes on the board here. We can still walk away with the dub in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time left, and I mean, there's no reason for either side to really be doubting themselves at this situation. As we will see, it's Hayes able to clear it all the way down to the other end. Will be the slower player to the ball, but Shadow's touch not high enough. And where is the follow-up? I mean, Hayes can't do all the offense on their own. Frederick playing midfield again is going to pop it towards that backboard. Second touch down, not quite in, but a dangerous defensive touch could open the door. Little Tojo doesn't find the read through traffic, and very fortunate for SPCC that they get out of that jam.
Hayes does go for a little bit of a tap back there, just sort of to change the trajectory of the ball. back up high into the center of the field. Doubtful knocks it down in control. Little Tojo wants to regain control. Looks for a quick little dribble on the side there. It looks relatively good, but it does not hit the mark. And V-Shadow will now try to push it back out. It's Hayes wants to keep it in the danger zone, but I don't think he'll be able to hold it there for long. Doubtful clears it out.
Both teams have had some like heart and mouth moments with some of these defensive touches right now. They just haven't been quite on point where they need to be. However, it's been leading to whiffs like that. So while each side has been looking to punish these unforced errors, the punishments have been just as awkward as the errors themselves. So we've got a game that really feels like it's on a knife's edge. Rizza from downtown, maybe a bit too far back for that one. Lord Frederick will clear it to safety.
Yeah, really looking for that finish there, but of course was a little bit shy off the mark. We can see Doubtful now pushing it back into the center here. Rizza going up high, wants to push into that backboard. It's Hayes will control it out of the danger zone. We can see Shadow wants to push it back in. Lord Frederick now onto the attack. Nice little push down as well. Well, we'll beat the extra player in defense as well, but Rizza will be there for the defensive play.
And now, once again, it's going to be SPCC looking for the long, drawn-out play down the middle of the field. And I think that's just the style they like. They want to set up from their own back half. They want to go for these long, deep aerials and play that counterattack game. They've been constantly sort of luring, it feels like, Emmanuel into those situations. But Emmanuel, they're a conservative team in their own right, and they're always keeping at least one, if not two, defenders back. So while I appreciate SPCC having a play style, Emmanuel, their approach has already kind of countered it. So I want to see SPCC shorten the field up, stop trying to go for these long ball plays, actually try to get some more consistent attacking pressure. I think that's where they will find their success.
Well, we are into that overtime as well. This is actually the first time we've seen it the series, or in this particular round robin as well. And we can probably look into their playstyles, why we actually had to wait a little bit to get ourselves into this match as well. Does actually opt in for there being not too many goals being scored, and of course just looking for that one opportunity to finally get in the back of the net, which does drive us into these overtimes.
And that, well, okay, I like what Lord Frederick did there because it examples how to beat the kind of defense that we're seeing from Emmanuel. We need to see more bumps and demos. They were keeping 2-3 defenders in the box, and you can't rely on your opponents to get the bump for them. Hazed finds one on the opposite end, and that's going to be the game going to Emmanuel.
Yeah, as you can see, that nice demo from Tojo just lets him put it into position, and as you said, Hayes is ready to actually get that final finishing blow. So it's going to be game 1-2, Emmanuel. And now things are looking pretty interesting here because we did have a relatively long series before. SPCC shows they do have the goods. They might be able to bring in even up this series, or will there be another repeat performance coming across from Emmanuel to close out our third round?
I mean, well, both these teams play very similar style. Like, they like to play super far back on defense. They kind of like to jam up the box. But what changed that overtime, I mean, you called it out. It was the demo from Little Tojo. And I was trying to make the case that's what SPCC needed to do. You can apply that for the other side right now. When you have teams that play this far back defense, when you have teams that try to play the backboard, there's sort of two ways to try and beat them. What SPCC was trying to do was lure them off of that backboard and then kind of get a quick counterattack to punish, or you can go the Emmanuel route, go for the demo, go for, you know, that big time bump and try and do it that way. So I do feel as if the bump demo game probably is going to be more effective at this level as well, just because a lot of teams don't often know how to play around it, play defensively against it. Even if you avoid that bumper demo, often you'll still get that defender out of position. But it's going to require teams to take more risks on the attacking side. You can't continue to play two back constantly. You can't be playing this reactive style. And yes, you might give up a goal or two in the process, but if it gets you more net goals in the end, it's all worth it. So I expect this second game, Mendrix, to be very, very violent.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So that whole concept of, well, one's a reactive playstyle, one's proactive. And generally in life, anyone who's being more proactive, basically getting out there and forcing the opportunities, generally ends up having a better time. Fortune favors the bold, and that's looking like it might be Emmanuel this time around.
Well, it was Emmanuel for the first game. It doesn't always happen in Rocket League because sometimes you just beat that goal line defense. That was beautiful by the Doubtful Boa. Coming in for a sub, by the way, because the other player was making a sandwich. As it stands, demo in front of the net, 1-0 lead.
Nice quick play there, and already things might be turning around. Only 10 seconds into the match. Doubtful also wins the ball once again, but Little Toe Joe is there to pick up the pieces. Lord Frederick now trying to regain control. It's going to be in the center of the map, but Doubtful, nice strong hit down below there, will be pushed back into the center to commit and to get the goal. Shadow is the one with the credit. What a nice little push down.
Remember what I talked about fighting situations where you bait the defense out? Yes, you can look at the 2 committing attackers, but the bigger sin was the 2 committing defenders going into that corner as well, opening up the net. It doesn't matter how many you send at the ball that time when you're on the attacking half, as long as whoever gets there first can put it in the goal.
Communication is always going to be key. Real in Rocket League, real in life. V-Shadow is looking to get some control. We'll jump into the air there. Not the best hit is Hayes will put it back in return as well. And then it's just going to be both these teams knocking it back to each other, looking for a little bit of weakness to strike.
Yeah, trying to set up through the corner. It's not going to be there. Lord Frederick so far back, has to burn all their boosts. And this is why I don't like it when everyone plays so far back right there. Did you notice how Frederick only had 22 boosts by the time they crossed the midfield? Even if they still had control, they weren't really going to do much into that first challenge with that amount of resources available. Oh, no. That's not how you want to see a goal scored against you.
Yeah, you can see 3 players unable to deal with it at that point. They all commit in that one direction. And even with that defense, gets knocked back into Hayes. No one else in position to actually knock it back in again. And it is definitely going to be an easy goal this time around for SPCC.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't like the positioning at all from SPCC. Obviously, the touch was a disaster, so... awkward way to give up the 2-point cushion, but hey, still in it with the lead, and now a chance for Shadow to do some dribbling of their own. Gets into the goal line, but that pressure is now starting to look relentless, and this looks like a completely different SPCC team. They're swarming the ball, they're sending everyone forward, and, well, they're getting punished for it. Emmanuel scores on the counter.
Yeah, as you can see, Isays also comes in. A nice little play there from Isays. I love how he's done it. As you can see, draws in V-Shadow, gets a nice little hit there as well. Is going to be that extra goal coming around. It's 2-2 once again, back down to the line or the wire.
Yeah, that 2-goal lead, so quick to it, and so quickly it is gone. SPCC, I got a little bit too aggressive. I was asking for some aggression, but maybe not triple commits on the attacking side. We'll see if they can calm themselves down, or if we start to see, you know, over-aggression as a sign of pressure. Doubtful Boa, good challenge in their favor. We'll get that second touch. What a setup!
Ooh.
But no one was there to punish.
It was good. Unfortunately, V-Shadow just not in position. It is going to be V-Shadow's turn to make this, put that setup in play as well. It's Hayes gets it into a dangerous position, but Doubtful is able to make sure it doesn't actually go into a good counter-attack. Little Toe Joe's looking for it. Oh, never mind. It's Hayes. And, of course, Lord Frederick say one of us will be the ones that actually walk away with it. It's Hayes now trying to keep it up high. It's Doubtful looking to get control. He will clear it away.
Oh, this actually could be good for Shadow, but it's a swing and a miss. Actually had the good angle to beat Frederick there, but overthought that first touch. Rizza now it's going to be the one who tries to make something happen. Playing through the corner. Ball will fall in the box. No one there again to find the strike. That is twice now SPCC has had the setup, ball where it needs to be, but no one there to finish the play.
We can see V-Shadow looks for a good pass there. Does have it, but of course the defense will stop a deflection. It's Hayes now pushing it into their opponent's side of the field there. Everyone now scrambling to get themselves back in position. Doubtful does knock it a little bit high in that spot, but no one wants to actually challenge at this moment in time. Does manage to beat 2 players off the back end. Riz is here, but it's Hayes will make sure it doesn't go any further.
I just want to see SPCC set themselves up for a longer attack. They're so reliant on these deep clears, these deep passes, but not on a sustained play because they're always so quick to kind of fall back to their own back half and try again. Granted, when they did try to set up an attack, that's where we saw the triple commit and the punish. But so far for SPCC, it's like unless they get an individual beat, they feel like they need the counterattack to be their goal, and it's just not working out for them. So even though the game is only tied, I'm worried about SPCC's chances to kind of break it because it's the same story again and again and again.
Ooh. Right in that corner there as well. Rizza plays going to have a big
and now there's the beat.
There we go. It's Hayes is trying to come in. He's coming in fast there. Shadow does manage to tip it just a little bit away and actually slow down the play. Back into the center. Hayes is ready. It's a nice hit, but Doubtful there with a fantastic save. Will keep the ball rolling for the time being. Down to 1 minute left.
Rizza has a chance. Needed the dunk. Went low instead of high. A bit unfortunate. 1 minute to go. And again, How many times can we watch SPCC get that perfect pass through the corner and not have the second member there? How many times will they try that pass across the middle only to have it be countered immediately back against them? They need to mix it up, be it in regulation or overtime. Next goal probably wins this game.
As you can see, Doubtful bringing up. Rizza also knocks it in. It's Hayes is going to make sure there's going to be no opportunity for a setup this time for SBCC. Little Tojo does get a decent bop there, but V-Shadow is in position to keep it away from the goal. Doubtful once again. Will two defenders committing at this point, but there won't be any capitalization there by Emmanuel, and it looks like we might be going to overtime.
Maybe, maybe not. That was a dangerous double commit right there. Fortunately for SPCC, the attack not fast enough to punish, but you cannot afford to do that. You still have that overtime cushion. You don't need to panic. And speaking of panic, double commit whiff on defense. The net is open, but the ball is jammed in the corner off the backboard. Doesn't go in, and we go 2 extra minutes.
Ooh, really pushing the line there as well. You can really see SPC felt they had an opportunity to make it happen, but last time we were in overtime, it was Emmanuel who walked away with the nuts. This time around, let's see if there is going to be a different squirrel with all the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good.
Oh, there
that is not the touch you make on defense, Mendrix. There are so many reasons why this is not what you do. You have both your defenders behind you, and Lord Frederick just cuts over the both of them to bang it right into the attacking side. That was a mistake. That was a big-time mistake.
Well, SBC says thank you very much on that one. Off the back of that, they do capitalize. Does mean that we're going to be going to the final match in this round. So players seem to be ready to roll at this point there. Now we've got a series.
Yeah, now we finally got, our back and forth, and 2 overtimes in a row, might I add. I mean, this is kind of what you always want to see right now. It can go either way. I still struggle with SPCC's approach. I'm still not a fan of their attacking style right now just because Emmanuel has shown they can defend it. However, those unforced errors when Emmanuel was put under pressure, we saw at the end, the double commit at the end of regulation, that awkward cut into a pass straight into the other team at the start of overtime. Emmanuel has shown weaknesses on that defensive side as well, so we'll see how this game goes. That's a backflip.
Very quick goal off the back end there. Look at that. Nice little hit on the side as well. Doubtful just with the touch. And yeah, like you said, a backflip from Frederick is unfortunately the reason why that ball goes in. So it's going to be an unforced error once again.
Feels backflip, bro. Feels backflip, Frederick. Oh, it happens to the best of them sometimes. You're just so eager to get that extra elevation while shielding that car up. You want to get that height, but too quick on the second jump, you backflip instead of launching yourself upwards, and, well, ball goes in. So early days looking good for SPCC, hot off the overtime win. They scored the first 2 goals in the last game as well. This time, they actually beat out Little Joe. That could have been dangerous.
Ooh, we do get a demo on Lord Frederick, but the ball does go away from the net, but never mind, Doubtful finds the opportunity with the fact that we do have a team of Emmanuel trying to regroup from that demo beforehand. Doubtful just jumps in straight away. 3 members commit to the defense, but none of them are ready to actually be in position for that hit. So quick, 2-0 now, and things looking very good for SPCC.
I hate everything about that last goal that we just saw. Like, watching the replay, I was kind of, like, when it happened live.
You're such a critic.
Okay, but there's a legitimate reason for it. Hayes hesitated and let the ball bounce off the backboard for no reason. Hayes had the time to put it into the corner, but that was a sign of the communication not with the team, saying that, like, hey, we're still out of position. So when they let the ball bounce off that backboard, that opened the doorway for the attackers to come through. But the reason why I didn't like the replay, before the shot came through, a double commit for the boost from SPCC? What? That's not what you want to see either. So, I don't know. It was sloppy from both sides, but realistically, what makes me sad about that goal was it was preventable. Hayes could have put it to the safety of the corner, went for some reason to let it bounce off the backboard, maybe thinking a teammate was there. There was no teammates there. I don't know. It was, as you said, an unforced error, but it was through the positioning from Emmanuel.
We can see here once again, though, Lord Frederick might have a bit of an opportunity. He is pushing in, but Doubtful ready in position. Does have a good touch on the ball to actually guide it in. Isn't going to have any power behind it then when it hits the ground, and it will be pushed back into contention.
And now we see Shadow again swinging and going a little bit too high. Little Joe Actually gets beaten out, and now this is a dangerous situation, and it will get dunked in. Doubtful Boa puts it through, and see, this could look so similar to that last goal, and you can even say, well, Hayes had the awkward touch right there, so, you know, why is this one not as bad? It's because everyone was in the right position. It was just Hayes kind of got caught out by that dunk.
Yeah,
it was caught out by the dunk.
It's a much more nuanced, unforced error, right? There's ones that are just like, that's just
well, that was
bad,
forced.
Right?
That one was forced.
Like, oh, okay, well, forced. Yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah.
Well, yeah. It wasn't Hayes making a decision not to hit the ball. Like, that was very much just a beautiful dunk over the top, catches the defense out of position, and then the punish was there. And that's more what I want to see. So, SBCC, by the way, in this game, 3-goal lead, they have looked so much better on the attacking side than what we've seen in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I agree on that as well. Lord Frederick will be bumping it away. As you can see, they're continuing to have a swarm of the SBC players on the ball here. Although they do decide to regroup in position once again. We do have Doubtful making that way back. Doubtful really does play that position of a very aggressive third man. But I have seen it from time to time. The first person to double back every single time is going to be Doubtful here. As you can see now, V-Shadow is the one now moving in that inside position, of course, as he moves out and once again straight away back into that spot. So I feel they're now beginning to start to park that bus, be a little bit more defensive. Yeah. Not sure how I like this strategy, but when you're on a 3-0 lead, you can sort of take that sort of opportunity if you want to.
Hate it. Always have, always will. I always compare it to, like, you know, NFL games when teams start playing, you know, quote-unquote prevent defense, where they'll give up the 5 and the 10-yard pass as long as they stop the touchdown. It comes back to bite teams. It almost feels like more often than not it can be infuriating, and I don't want to see it here in Rocket League as well. You got to go for the jugular, run up that scoreline, keep putting those points on, and with passes like that, chances are there. Good save from Little Toe Joe. In a 2v1 situation, that defender just came up big.
Little Toe Joe tries to go on the offense, but it will be nudged away. So we're back into the center here. Big aerial from Hayes there. Does manage to beat a few players there, but nice defense coming on through from RZA plays will actually stop him from actually getting into that back net.
And with 1 minute to go, 3 goals required for the Emmanuel side. They got the 2-goal comeback last game. 3, I'm just not sure I see it, especially with passes like that inside the box. Super lethal. 4-0. That's game.
Yeah, V-Shadow looking very fancy with the plays there. Just guides it right into position, and Riz is ready this time around. You said the one thing you've hated from SBC throughout this entire match, or SBCC, is the fact that they have these setups with no one in position to make it happen, and there they have the finisher towards the end of the series.
Yeah, that was a big-time finisher, and now that's probably going to put this series away as well. SBCC with the 4-goal lead, 40 seconds to go. They're going to be getting, you know, a nice little comeback in this one. Drop the first game, win the next 2. Technically a reverse sweep, although I don't like calling reverse sweeps in best of 3s.
Yeah, best of 3s, you can't really call it a reverse sweep, can you?
Nah, but what you can call it is a comeback win for this team. In Game 3, they absolutely dominated that Emmanuel defense, which we kind of saw the beginnings of it at the end of Game 2. Went under pressure, the defense would panic. Panic positioning, panic touches. It all came back to hurt them in the end.
10 seconds to go. This game is all but done. The nail is in the coffin. You can see the ball's going up high as well once again there. I still like, I guess you could say, the general play here from Emmanuel in the sense that, okay, cool, they've got a plan, they've got an idea, all they need to do is fix up that execution. Of course, I know you would prefer them to be a little bit more proactive and aggressive with the plays there, but for the time being, they've got a strategy, and that means they've got something that they can sort of build off for the rest of this entire tournament.
Well, it was SBCC that I wanted to see him get a little bit more aggressive, and they did in the third game. For Emmanuel, actually, it's just more, I guess, a little bit more disciplined. I liked Emmanuel so much more in the first 2 games when they were keeping their rotations, they were getting consistent touches, maybe not always, you know, perfect, but there was still that contact. It was when they were put under pressure when the panic came through, and that comes with experience, that comes with playing a bit more. Obviously, on stream, everything does feel different, even in a high school stream like this, when, you know, you are aware, your friends are watching, it might cause you to make those little mistakes, and unfortunately for Emmanuel, it was the mistakes in the end that cost him. But for us, we're going to be going quickly to a break because we got to get quickly into our next match, a little behind schedule, but fret not. Our 4th and final game is right around the corner, so stay with us. We'll be right back into it. Oh boy, here we go. Last series of the day, and well, it's been an interesting afternoon. We finally got one good series, Mendrix. We finally got one that went to that game 3 with a couple of overtimes, but then game 3 kind of fell a little short. It was a little one-sided, but this time I have a good feeling we're going to get 3 banger matches.
Yeah, last but not least, I'm very looking forward to see what YVG and St. Francis do pull out of the gate. So it should be exciting. Hopefully, like you said, it's going to go down to the wire. 3 matches with a bit of a nail-biting finish would be a nice way to crown out this round.
It would be a nice way to crown a champion. That is for certain. Of course, St. Francis, was it? Sorry, SFDS. They had a crazy name. If I do, St. Francis de Sales Green is the team. They're going to be in blue. YVG Watermelon, of course, will be in orange. Going through the flavors, you got Coolsy, rocking a nice purple octane. NJWR alongside Ali for SFDS. And, of course, on the other side, it is High Against Its M, 3ZZGG, or we'll call him 3Zig. I don't know. And then Lucky
Luck Leech. Oh, speaking of that, though, Ali does go through an alley-oop there, gets the score at the start here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds in. Off the rebound, a self-setup there. Very nice play there. And I love it. A little bit of a love heart to finish off as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, those goals feel good when you're able to pass it to yourself and then put it in. It's like, yeah, I kind of created that, and it's the beginning of learning of like you started off, you know, on the ground, and then you start to like pre-jump it off into the wall and into the ground, and then eventually you're doing everything off the ground. It's the beginnings of the double touch that we see from Ali right there.
You
and
love your double touches, don't you? Just every time you're like, nope, wasn't a double touch. This time it's a double touch. Oh, it's all about
the double touch is the slam dunk of Rocket League.
Yeah, I get you. That's true.
It's you know what I mean? And everyone loves a good dunk.
That is a very apt way to put it. That is a fantastic analogy.
Yeah. So you want to see them. It's always a good sign. Like NJR.
Ooh.
Hey, if they had, you know, put it off the backboard and then spiked it down, double touch, I don't know. Maybe that would have been the goal.
Would have gone for the slam dunk. Unfortunately, though, no dunking here, or no double touching. NJWR, they're looking for a possible chance here as well. Looks to sort of guide it down, but high arm against is ready and waiting to actually sort of just shut down that play, push it back into the center, and we're back into a point where players are looking to set up the ball.
We're only like just under 2 minutes in this game, and already I'm feeling like St. Francis is feeling very confident in themselves. They're going for some very high mechy plays. Like NJWR in these setups is always going for a cheeky late reset. We kind of saw, you know, the aerial spikes from above before, and these are very low percentile chances, but if they pull it off, are like nearly impossible to defend. And if that's the look we're going to see, like this right here, NJWR could have just gone straight for that goal. There was one defender to beat. You probably could have gotten them high. Instead, they tried to slow it down to go for some aerial play. Yeah, St. Francis, they're a very confident side.
Yeah, looking a bit more showboaty, I guess you could say. A bit of the trotters, what did you say? Global trotters and that sort of.
Yeah,
but
Harlem.
of course, just being a little bit showboaty, being a little bit fancy is nice, but of course sometimes doesn't get the result that you need. We're still, you know, 1-0 up at this point. And still an opportunity here for the Watermelon side or YVG to actually put something away.
But no one there, so we're not going to see the shot. See, one of the things, though, like when you're trying to slow the ball all the time and go for those mechy plays, sometimes when the unforced error presents itself, you're going to be too far back or you're not going to be in position to punish, as we just caught. And that's usually the biggest fault of the teams that are always trying to slow it down and always trying to like go for the more style over substance type play. They're not always in that position to punish. But when they're given possession, when they're given space, they can make the magic happen. Watch Colsey right here. Has Ali over the middle. Tried to take it themselves, though. Oh, I would have liked to see a pass instead of a shot in that play.
Now, unfortunately, pass didn't come on through there, which means the scoreline does remain at 1-0. As you can see, we're back into a point where the players are looking again for a decent setup there, pushing it in towards the middle, but of course, two defenders ready and waiting to bring it back. High arm against will knock it out of position. And Colsey wants to try and drive it back in, but they're not going to get much off the back end. And this ball is still running quite wild towards the ends of either side of the pitch.
And I actually kind of want to attack a misconception, which sometimes people fall victim to. Going back to that last shot where I was saying I would have liked to see the pass because Ali was in the middle of the pitch, you would think the pass would be the safer option. In reality, it actually isn't in those types of plays because the second you go for the pass, you're causing your second member to commit. And if it goes wrong, you only have one defender back. And that's why often those times when players do go for the solo play, it's actually the safer option. It's them kind of banking on the fact that, like, even if I don't miss this, the backup will be there. So interesting to see the more conservative play, and that's why it kind of caught me on guard. It's like, oh, that's kind of strange to see. I thought they would have gone for the pass, gone for the riskier play, because that's been their MO thus far. And Colsey off the post is going to make it a 2-0 game.
And that's what you've been wanting to see this entire time, right? Oh, I mean, is it the way it is? Let's have a look.
Oh, I love this because Ali getting involved with that bump. I love good bump plays, okay? And if you're working in that side of things, that's the riskier play. That's sending two. It's not the same as the pass, but you're still committing two to the attacking play, and yeah, it pays off for them. And oh, what an own goal!
That's not what you want to have happen there on the side there. That's unfortunate there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, it just goes
Bang!
in. No one's in position. Oh. You just pushed it out. Actually, you know, I get high him against would have been there, but like you said, that little bit of a deflection just pushes it away from his grasp, and that does mean it's maybe a 3-0 scoreline, and things not looking good here for our Watermelon side.
That goal was sick. I don't want to hear anything against it all, but it was against their own side. No, that goal was sick. I love
one time you don't have a criticism when you should.
Because it's I love own goals. What can I say, all right? Like, I'm vice caster. Own goals are the great. Unintentional own goals like that is, are super awesome to see.
That's the, what is it? It's like the caviar of Rocket League?
It's the caveat of Oceanic Rocket League. I don't know. Every region has their own goals, but I feel we do it the best. By the way, Colsey, this is just easy. Slow down the tempo, dribble over the top, goal goes in, 4-0 lead.
That was, I definitely feel that was, like, it looked fancy, but it was definitely a lot of substance there. Just a nice little hit over the top. Made sure I was in the right spot to make sure when the ball did come back towards me from that pass, or my own little pass to myself, then I'm there to actually knock it in position.
Yeah, it was slowing down the tempo, putting it through. Colsey with the hat trick, although a big assist coming from YVG with the own goal with that to kind of fight it still. SFDS, they're looking pretty clean in this first game. Big stat to look at, 12 shots to 3.
Yeah, that really sort of illustrates the picture, right? Tells the story of what's happening here at this moment in time. Now, the other thing we can take into account, again, going back to what you said, people, players aren't really used to actually being on the screen. Perhaps they're feeling a little bit more, I guess you could say, a bit of the jitters in terms of that as well, of it being a competition play. Now that we are moving into that second match, we might see a much more looser YVG side. They could actually be able to bring it back and be a little bit more competitive in comparison from before. Who knows, maybe bring it back for possible, not reverse sweep like you said before, but a comeback play.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, SFDS ain't getting any looser, I feel like, because they kind of came into this one super loose already from their play style. And it shows. Again, they like to slow it down. They like to go for those mech plays. That's how they're going to try to beat you. And as we get ready to go for game number 3, we're missing a couple players kind of lined up right now as a 2v3. We saw a member of SFDS just disappear at the end. There they go. Okay, NJWR has gotten back, so we'll jump right back into there. That got me nervous. Late car swap is what that was. And here we go. Game number 2. And that is a good kickoff for the Watermelon side. Doesn't get much better than that.
And see, like I said, you just needed to be a little bit more of them loosening up, getting themselves warmed up. Sometimes that happens in between matches. I know they've been playing a number of rounds throughout the day, but there is a little bit of a reset. People will end up forgetting it, and now that they're back into the mix of it, could be a different story that we saw unfold.
I mean, it's tough to kind of completely rewrite a narrative off of a kickoff goal, even if it is one straight out of the gate. So we'll see how it continues to play out. Got high hopes. I appreciate the optimism. We'll see.
Look, I've always got high hopes. Okay, like I like to think the underdog has an opportunity to bring it back.
Well,
we'll see how we go this time around. Like I said, the play has definitely slowed down, looking very dangerous once again for YVG. But they are showing a little bit more teeth here. Ooh, that was a dangerous place to put the ball.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing, too. If you're playing up against a team that does like to slow the tempo down, does like the tight spacing, you can beat them sometimes with good drives. And high against its M. Nearly found one right there. Follow-up shot, wide open net! And it goes wide.
Pretty rough scenario on that one there. But again, still definitely a different looking team this time around here. Oh, okay, you're hurting a little bit right now.
I wanted that to go in. Let's be real. You know what I'm looking for, and hey, then I'd start to believe as we're going to watch Lockie get the ball towards the backboard. Now it's going to get cleared up that other way. I love watching YVG on the attack, though. Like, they look so different on the attacking half than the defensive half. Defensive, they're passive. They give their opponent space. They kind of wait for the ball to come to them. On the attacking side, they look ruthless. However, Colsey through the corner just tied this game.
Yeah, you can see there, Colsey just sees the opportunity. 2 defenders obviously have committed at that point there. High, I'm against, hasn't had enough time to get back, and that's going to actually tie things up 1-1. 3 minutes 30, though. Still plenty of time here, but this could end up being us going to the next round coming across here, or actually in the next match, but could also mean the end of the day if it is going to be St. Francis who come out victorious.
Yeah, and I mean, I still feel like despite the hot start and despite looking absolutely relentless on the attack, I still give the edge to St. Francis. They just are the more composed team, it feels like, particularly in situations like this. Challenge goes awry, but look, Ali already there taking the shot. Defense has to make the diving save. NJWR, next member up. It's a swing and a miss, and An unusual unforced error right there, and then cutting off the teammate. NJWR, fall back in line, my friend. Trying to overcompensate nearly costs the blue side something big.
Well, as you can see now, the counterattack is in position. A bit of a pass there, but the members are there for the bump defensive play. That does mean that there were no goal scored. We're back in the center of the pitch once again. A nice little hit there, but Colsey is ready to receive, and now it's going to be St. Francis on the attack.
And Ali with the dunk puts it through. 2-1 lead for SFDS Green.
Yeah, you can see at this point here is going to be 3 Zig trying to get that push in, but of course, just the way it pinches off and pushes into that side there. Nice little pickup from Ali. And that means it's going to be 2-1, like you said before.
2-1, and last time with the lead, we saw St. Francis really start to get comfortable with their play style, and we're seeing it again. Slow the tempo down, go for the dribble. Nice connection with Colsey underneath. They're going to try to keep that straight. Instead, Colsey plays it through the corner. Double committing for boost means Ali has to kind of burn it all. Misses in the middle of the field, so an opening for YVG, but that opening falls short as momentum is lost in the corner once again.
Still good control there from NGWR.
You got to put this in.
Colsey wants it.
Oh, that's not clean at all. That's not clean at all. That should have been a goal.
Fumbles at the very end there. Colsey up in the air now, trying to knock it down in. There's going to be a bit of a defensive play there, but unfortunately isn't going to find what's needed to be. As you can see, Hyam against M is continuing to actually get the control in. Ali gets a decent hit there. 3 members for defense. Colsey back up in the air once again, looking to get some sort of dunk in. Ali's there for support, and it is going to be enough. That's a great pass. Ali finds it once again, 3-1, and this looks like now they're beginning to really push away here for our St. Francis side.
So Ali was super cheated forward, thinking about the boost, but then saw the passing opportunity, turn around and hit that. What I don't understand is why was there a demo happening on the opposite end of the pitch for YVG? I know what the answer is. It was confidence in the team. They were expecting that deep clear, and if we had seen any sort of defensive touch come from the orange side, we'd be looking at a tie game as opposed to a 2-goal differential. That was such a high-risk play from both sides. Just on that instance, it was it was St. Francis that came out on top.
NJW gets 2 demos here, but of course no capitalization there at this moment in time for St. Francis. YVG continuing to try and get some attack in. NJW is just on a wrecking spree at the moment. Managed to get a 3rd member destroyed at this point. 50 seconds left on the clock here. YVG really need to get something to happen now if they're going to have any hope of maintaining this series.
Beautiful pass, and Colsey will put it in. Oh, that was so mean. Look at Ali lining it up like they're going to take the shot. Nope. Play it off the backboard instead. Gets the defense to triple commit, and no one makes contact.
That is now where you get to see those higher level players coming through. Once again, like you said, that confidence really starting to show there for St. Francis. And they had a bit of a rocky start, but now they're finishing very strong. And as I say that, I cast to curse them.
Yeah, their kickoffs could use some improvement, I think is the way to put it.
Leaves a lot to be desired.
It does, because they overshoot themselves. Like, it comes with the confidence on them. They expect to be the faster team to it. And in that situation, they were. Like, their cheat was the faster, but it was too fast to actually read the play, so it leaves you kind of exposed on the back end. Goal against them. It's happened to them twice already in this game, but they're still probably going to take this series out, although chance right now, 2v1. No one went for the demo.
Can't see it seems to be an open net there, but Colsey does get back with the boost. You can see 3Z was looking for a little bit more time on control. Heim against is 1 in control now. Leach pushes it back in, but loses the ball. Does get it there, but Colsey is going to make sure nothing happens to it. And as we can see, this ball is definitely going to be going dead very soon. It is going to be... Oh, never mind there. St. Francis keep it up, but it's going to go dead now. There it is.
And St. Francis get it done. 2-0 sweep. Fun team to watch, fun series to watch, but when it's said and done, I mean, NJWR, target spotted in the chat. Yeah, they were going for demos that game, I feel like, and having fun while doing so. Unfortunately for YVG, well, they got demoed, to put it mildly.
Pretty much at that point, I agree in that sense as well. But still, again, I think the story of the series today has literally been that idea. Hey, early days at this moment in time, teams still have opportunity to push their level up. Those who are showing really good play at the moment, that just means they have a lower ceiling to really hit at this point. They've already gone pretty high, so they really need to push extra work in to remain that much further above the cut of the competition. Whereas those who are falling a little bit behind, they get to see that little bit of a difference. They get to practice on it and improve upon it. So I can see things going a little bit more different when the competition hits that midway of the midfield, I guess you could say, of the competition.
Yeah, and especially as well because this is only like that first event. There are going to be events happening all throughout the year as well. So many opportunities to come through and find those chances to kind of break in. So, yeah, definitely a strong showing from these teams, strong showing especially from the winning sides. For the sides that came up short, hey, early days, still time to improve. It's only the second week of play, and it's an entire year ahead of you. So I expect to see some great improvement, but unfortunately, that means we are winding it down for today. So one last time, I do believe we have some sponsors we'd like to thank.
Absolutely. Acer Australia, the presenting partner of the High School Summer Series, who provide PC technology solutions for all schooling needs in the classroom and at home. Predator Gaming, the gaming PC partner who provides high-end gaming-focused PC solutions in both laptop and desktop formats powered by Intel. AOC Monitors, the gaming monitor partner who provides the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And Game On Cancer, the charity of choice for AEL, who fund much-needed cancer research projects, with the AEL donating a portion of all student participation fees to this life-saving cause. If you'd like to donate, please as well head to the AEL's Tiltify campaign page, and you can find all the details there.
Yeah, just go ahead and scan that QR code. I'll leave it up for that little bit longer. I don't know, we'll give you 10 seconds, I think, to get on it. So get those phones ready or pause the stream maybe and come back to it. But that, as I said, is going to do us for today. But fret not, we've got so much more action coming through. A look at our schedule in the future. You can see it right here. We're already kind of in the midst of week 2. We had our Rocket League, Smash Brothers at the same time. Overwatch started as well. And, well, it's continuing again. Week 3, same day, 25th of March, as well as week 4. You know, that's when the playoffs, that's when things get to that nitty-gritty. And it's going to be a lot of fun throughout. Unfortunately for yours truly, though, this is my only appearance for these first few days. So,
you're too busy, Max. It's going to be one of those things. It's going to be another year until I see you again.
No, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of me, just maybe not in these next 2 weeks. But that's all well and good. Do make sure you tune in. Do make sure you follow along. And, well, until next week, everybody, have a great day. And we will see you all next time.